That was Steely Dan with Buddhistafa. Before that, we heard Paul Kantner and Grace Slick with Sketches of China. And we started the set with the Beatles doing the classic single Lady Madonna. Welcome back to God Rock Radio. I'm Jack the Agnostic Garcia. And today we're exploring the origins, the history, and mystery of the great Mother Goddess of Mercy, Kwan Yin. Now, Kwan Yin is in fact the embodiment of the divine feminine. She's symbolic of pure, unwavering compassion. She's a semi-divine being engaged in the day-to-day world of humanity. She retains her human form rather than transcend it to become a being of pure energy or light in order to comfort and rescue humanity. Now, the origins of this great deity are very complex, but the starting point is India, circa 500 BC. The god Avalokitesvara, which is a Buddha designate. He's an androgynous, genderless god, but he's a male deity. He has 33 different forms, and 7 of those incarnations are feminine. Now, this is a pan-Asiatic god. It's worshipped not only in India, but in several other locations. Now, he's known as the Lord who looks in every direction. He has 1,000 arms. He has 1,000 eyes. And he's 11-headed, which sometimes becomes a pyramid. His head actually becomes a pyramid. And Avalokitesvara actually responds instantly to suffering. Now, this god is essentially the embodiment of wisdom and compassion, a universal savior. Now, this Buddha designate, or Buddhistafa, becomes very important in Mahayana Buddhism. In fact, in Tibet, he's linked as the living incarnation. The Dalai Lama is, in fact, the living incarnation of Avalokitesvara. Now, there's a book in the 1st century A.D., written in Sanskrit, known as the Lotus Sutra. It's translated to Chinese in the early 2nd century A.D. during the Han Dynasty. Now, Kwan Yin is a prominent figure in the sutras. She's known, well, actually, it's a he. He's known as Quan Shin Yin. That's the Chinese name. The god becomes very popular in this new land of China, and a cult following soon follows. Now, there's much, much more to the story, so let's jump ahead to circa 635 A.D., when the Byzantine Emperor Heraclius opens up trade routes to China. And in these caravans, these trade caravans, images of the Virgin Mary travel along. And this is during the Tang Dynasty. And there's essentially 200 years of cultural exchange between Byzantium and Cathay, the name for China at that time, before the banning of Christianity in 845. Now Byzantium is an extremely important empire because it's the geographical link between the East and West. It's located in modern-day Turkey, and there are many multicultural aspects to the Byzantine Empire. Now, this extreme reverence towards the power of the Mother of God, Mariolatry, which the Byzantines practiced, becomes very influential. Those female tangible aspects of love, hope, and service capture the hearts of worshippers, that maternal instinct, the spiritual compassion, the giving of oneself. Now, both Christian and Buddhist women need an object of spiritual worship closer to themselves, and the Virgin Mary and the Buddhist Madonna, Kwan Yin, are essentially an antidote to the theological patriarchy. Like the Madonna, reverence of Kwan Yin soon eclipses that of the male god himself. Now, essentially, Kwan Yin is a foreign hybrid deity. As I mentioned, there's a link to the male god from India, an androgynous, compassionate male god. And then there's a link to Byzantium, the mother of God, the queen of heaven. And these two merge into the personification of the feminine attributes of God. And Kwan Yin becomes the chief symbol of compassion in the Orient, the all-compassionate mother goddess of mercy. Now, I mentioned the word Bodhisattva. Well, what is a Bodhisattva? Well, a Bodhisattva is a semi-divine being, a living incarnation of infinite compassion. They're holy, pure individuals who achieve supreme enlightenment but postpone their own release from the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth in order to assist in the salvation of humanity. The Bodhisattvas hesitate to enter nirvana. They postpone their final bliss and take a vow that ties them to humanity. They essentially want to save the world, because once the world has been saved, only then will the Bodhisattva be able to depart this earthly realm and become a deity dwelling in the heavens. Now, the Bodhisattva are essentially guardians of humanity. They view their own comfort as subordinate to the needs of others, and they have a willingness to share their immense power with anyone who calls their name and are in need. They perceive the suffering of all sentient beings and devise ways to assist them. They're always alert, and they banish fear and hardship. Now, the Bodhisattva works under a type of merit system. These Buddhas-to-be progress as they accumulate insight and wisdom through their many, many acts of compassion, kindness, and mercy. Now, Kwan Yin is linked to many, many other goddesses. Let's go to India first. Tara, the star goddess from India, which is essentially a female aspect of Avalokitesvara. And Tara is symbolic of the unquenchable hunger that propels all life. Well, when Tara moves to Tibet, she essentially becomes the Buddhist Madonna. There are mystical and compassionate aspects attributed to the Tibetan Tara. She becomes symbolic of the spiritual hunger that we all have, this release from the physical world. Now, green Tara is a terrifying death image, and white Tara is the enlightenment beyond death. Okay, now, in China, Kuan Yin is linked to Tin Hao, the Queen of Heaven. Kuan Yin and Tin Hao share sanctuaries. They share duties and domains and spheres of influence. Now, there are many, many temples to Kuan Yin in China, Japan, Vietnam, Korea. They're usually situated beside rivers, lakes, or seashores, and pleasant spots on the outskirts of towns and villages. Now, nuns, who are renowned for their spiritual qualities, are often given the honorary title of Kuan Yin. Now, I want to get to the United States because in the USA, Kuan Yin is essentially a post-World War II phenomena. After the war, there is an influx of Asian immigrants, and returning U.S. servicemen, those G.I. Joes, fall in love with Kuan Yin and bring many, many statues home. Now, these statues, this iconography of this great Mother Goddess of Mercy, are visible virtually everywhere. She's dressed in flowing gowns, wears a golden necklace, she's holding willows and jewels, and making symbolic gestures of mercy. Now, Hollywood set designers utilize Kuan Yin statues in countless movies during this post-World War II period, 1945 to 1960. In fact, statues of Kuan Yin, become a film noir set piece. Now, for those of you who don't know, film noir is known as dark cinema. It's usually loaded with criminals, corruption, and vice. But paradoxically, Kuan Yin statues are found almost everywhere in these film noir set pieces. They're found in living rooms, bedrooms, dens, nightclubs, restaurants. In fact, there's a movie from 1946 called Three Strangers that opens with an oath to the goddess Kuan Yin. That film stars Sidney Greenstreet, Peter Lorre, and Geraldine Fitzgerald, I believe. Haven't seen it for a while. So, Kuan Yin becomes a pop culture icon. She becomes beloved in the United States, and you can just about walk anywhere. You're going to end up seeing a Kwan Yin statue sooner or later. That's how popular and important to our culture she has become. With that thought, I'm going to take a musical break. When we come back, we're going to get into the myths and legends of Kwan Yin. So stay with us. This is God Rock Radio.